Hello guys, my name is ZugZug and I've been using 3DCoat for over 10 years, painting for different projects like League of Legends, World of Warcraft and a lot of different hand-painted things. Today we are going to talk about 3DCoat setup, menus, tools and some tips. Let's go. First question you probably have in mind, why we are actually using 3DCoat instead of Substance Painter or maybe even Blender? Well, the answer is simple. Brush engine. It's just better for pure paintings and that's it. In 99.9% of the time we are using 3DCoat just for texturing, so you don't need the full software and 3DCoat Textura is more than enough. Alright, let's get started. So this is what you see once you open a 3DCoat and we want to upload our mesh and paint. So we click here and then we allocate your mesh, click on it and we will see this menu. You can change resolution if needed, but 2K is something that is very nice for your source file. So yeah, we press OK and it will upload everything. If you want, you can make triangulation or auto smoothing if you don't have it on your model, and you can set up it here like 70 or something, so everything is rounded. But anyway, we are painting in unlit mode and smoothing not doing anything for us. In my case, I will just open the scene I prepared recently. So here's our model, and as you see, it reacts to light, and that's actually not cool for us. Yeah, so what we do, we check our amazing courses and mentorship art classes, learn with the real industry professionals who work it for projects like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Valorant and many more. Our students' artwork speaks for itself. Check it out. We want to press 2 and it will turn everything to unlit, and now we can comfortably do the paintings and pick the colors. Yeah, if you would not change it, then the color picking would be an issue and you also will not see details like what you're painting and where. The next must-have step would be go here, these round guys, and turn off this one and this one, as it's a glossiness and depth. We don't want to paint them with our texture as we're doing just a diffuse one. Yeah. So turn them off, it will be cool. If you don't turn them off, then let's see. Yeah, you'll have these things like your painting depth, glossiness and everything. We don't want that, it will make your file much bigger, so don't do it. Another thing I prefer to do is I don't like, for example, you see this depth thing on our brush. We're actually not using depth, so we don't need this line. So we go to preferences and we go to brushing and we want to turn off this brush curve. Yay, now the brush is just a brush. Another thing we can also turn off here, actually don't need this, I don't care in what excess I'm painting, so I will hide it, hide the gizmo, yay. Another important thing would be to set navigation for your cursor, how it works with your model. So you go here at this camera guy and then you can see the connection pivots, yeah, and to rotate around current peak is the best thing you can find here. So what it's going to do, your model always will rotate about where is your cursor. It's very comfortable, super nice for paintings, but if you like maybe something different, you can try it out. I want to say a couple words about navigation. So if you press right mouse button and drag it you will zoom in and zoom out. But if you do this on your model, then just brush size changes and nothing else. But if you press Alt and right mouse button, then you have this setting back. And same for a left mouse button, so yeah, you can navigate, and if you press on the model it will not work, so you press Alt and now you can rotate. Yay! Another function that is very useful is if you press Alt and Shift and click, it will get you back to these straight positions. Yeah, like you can focus on top, you can focus like that on lower part or side, or just go back to some nice directions. And also we have like different menus here, and actually we are like almost never using anything of it, except maybe the perspective and orthographic mode. That's the only stuff from this menu that is useful. This is for setting the lights on the scene. We are not using lights. With these things you can move your model, and there's like different wireframes and things that you just don't need while we are painting. Yeah, you can also set a different background. If you don't like this standard one, you can do some, upload some image or do the gradient. For example, I had this gradient from like a previous 3DCoat versions, but I think the standard one works pretty nice, like this one. Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. And now let's talk about brushes. So this is our standard brush setup here. In most cases for hand painted art, similar like this one, like Warcraft, League of Legends, we always using mostly the hard brush, like 99% of the time. Sometimes it's alright to use this one, like semi-hard, with less opacity if you're having some maybe more difficult times for blending things, then it could be a fit for you. And soft ones like these ones, yeah, it's cool for some painting like ambience, maybe some gradients with layers like overlay and so on, like adding some light reflections. It's cool, it works nicely. Yeah. Another important stuff for brushes is this brush options menu, and in this one you have pretty similar settings like in Photoshop for your brush. So you can do like jitter hue, and then your brush will change like hues when you're painting for getting some additional colors on your texture. Then we have here a sharp out style that I prefer a lot, so this will make your brush even sharper. And for spacing I'm using like maybe 5 or even 1, so it's up to you. In this menu the most common brush option is this one, I would say. At least for me, I'm just using it all the time, I'm not using anything else, and this is my favorite one for everything. Maybe if you want to draw without opacity you can use different ones, but or maybe from like bigger to smaller. Yeah, you can check like different ones here, but yeah, this is my own way to go. Also from this menu you might like this setting, you can paint by polygons. Yeah, so you can just paint by polys, it's pretty useful. Another very important setting for your brush is this one. Yeah, so if we not selecting it, let's see what we're going to have. I paint between two faces and it paints nicely in the middle, like switching. Yeah, but sometimes you actually don't want it. Like let's say I want to paint just dark line here, but it will also paint on closer surface. If we click this thing, yeah, then our brush would not jump on closest surface. Yeah, it would be like this. Yeah, but if we uncheck it, then it will go everywhere. So one of the very important things to use. It will help you a lot. And in this menu, I'm mostly using just brush, razor tool. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Hide tool is very useful. It's like must have for every artwork you do. What it's doing, if you clicking, it's just hiding mesh, or you can push the button like on the mouse and just hide by poly, and then you press Ctrl X and return all the things. Yeah, very useful stuff. Freeze is kinda alright. You can freeze things that will not be painted, and unfreeze this one, Ctrl D. Yeah, fill similar to Photoshop, so you just fill layers. Also, you can use here a gradient, set the points. And you will have a gradient, and you can set like different variations. Yeah. Also very useful for starting your artwork. And of course, we're using pick color, and hotkey for it is a V. We will do a lot of this button, so you can set up the most comfortable that works for you. And to do so, you need to press like and K and then set the button for it. I prefer the Photoshop hotkeys that I like, so B for brush, A for eraser, and then I can easily switch between these things just by pressing hotkeys. Super useful. Yeah. This is your main ones: brush, eraser and pick. This is something you will use a lot. Then I'll check really quick some menus that we can forget forever. You don't need those for hand painted stuff, so you can just close this one, say goodbye, and say goodbye to this one. If you want to use stencils, you can try. I never using it, so I also saying goodbye to this one. In this menu, this is very useful one, as we can hide by meshes. Yeah, or by materials. If you set many materials for your object, you can use it, but I don't need this one. I don't need this one. Yeah, that's what I'm using, but maybe you'll find something else interesting. I also don't need these things at all. It's kinda alright. You can use this one. I never use it. I prefer to choose just colors by hotkey, not clicking here. Now let's check some menus, what you're going to use a lot during your works. Yeah. So I will not talk about every function. Most of them like never use it. And calculate occlusion is something you want to do a lot, almost at every start of your work. So you can just find it at edit, set your lights to like 2 or 4K, split objects if need, and it will bake ambience for you. Baking curvature is also right, and even white things. So this tree is kinda useful for your work. So yeah, in this one I actually haven't found any difference setting these things, but hand paint sounds cool. These settings I'm using, you have like wireframe here, but I just remember just WK if you need to see your wireframe. On symmetry, this is a very useful one. You can enable symmetry by some access, or you can set a peak point where your symmetry is going to be, and then you can paint with the symmetry. On texture menu, we have import, export, And this one is also very useful, so you can here adjust your hues. Yeah, press preview and the hues will change here, similar to Photoshop. Yeah. Or there's also different ones for brightness, for checking colors, changing colors like this. It's also very useful thing. I never use this one. Freeze tool I just use for with hotkeys. Height we're also using with hotkeys, so you don't need to click on these menus. And here you can find all your pop-up windows if you need. And I never click it on this tree in my life for 10 years using 3DCoat. And also I want to mention this one here. Yeah, it's the texture editor tool. It's actually very useful when there's not comfortable to paint somewhere, maybe on lower part, so you can just go there and just paint things and it will shows on the model. So this one is a cool thing. And the last function I want to cover that is also very useful and must have, it's edit hours in external editor like Photoshop or any other you have. So at first you need to go here and set it up. Yeah, it's like external to the editor. So you put your exe file here. And you can set up a hotkey for it, like in previous versions of 3DCoat it was Ctrl P. So I set Ctrl P. And then you select your layer you want to bring to external editor, and here it is. And you can use Photoshop functions or draw here. Yeah. And once you finish it, you can press Ctrl S and it will bring all your stuff here with the layer. Yeah. And there we go. Now you're super ready to start working in 3DCoat. In the next videos I will try to cover in more details some of the functions we use it, as they need really more time, like working with brushes or maybe using some projection tool and so on. So stay tuned and thanks for watching. Bye bye.